Today I'm going to show you how to do a veggie head tutorial. So you're going to have your picture of yourself open. You're going to go into Google. You're going to look for a fruit or a vegetable. Again, don't forget, you want to do images, tools, size, large. So that way you have the most high resolution image that you can find. I'm going to click on View Image. And then if you're in the Mac lab, I'm going to hit Control and click and save image as. And for me, I'm going to put it on my desktop and hit save. In Photoshop, I'm going to go to File Open. I'm going to go to wherever I saved my picture and hit Open. And then I'm going to need to break these two tabs apart. So I'm going to go to Window, Arrange, Float all windows. So now I can manage these windows a little bit better. And we're going to do two things. We're going to use the lasso tool and the move tool to drag our facial features over to the fruit or vegetable that you've chosen. So I'm going to zoom in on this picture just to make it a little easier. I hit Control plus or Apple plus, or you can use the little magnifying glass down here. I'm going to use the lasso tool to kind of roughly circle out my features. Now don't worry about getting up close because we're going to use a special tool to kind of smooth and blend this. So if you are making a rough selection, that's fine. Now if I go and just remain on the lasso tool, all I'm dragging is my selection. I want to bring my eyeball into this picture, so I need to click on the move tool. Again, if you remain on the lasso tool, you're only picking up the selection. When you click on the move tool, you're cutting this piece away. So I'm dragging it into the white space. I'm going to resize it later. Right now I'm focused on just getting all of my pieces in here. Clicking back on the lasso tool, clicking and dragging around, connecting back to where I started, clicking on the move tool to drag my feature into here. You should have auto select on when you clicked on the move tool. It makes moving around these pieces a little easier. Clicking on my nose. And finally my mouth. You can get your hair too if you want. Just for the sake of time right now, I'm not going to bother. Now, we're done with this picture, so I can just close it out. I'm zooming in a little here. And I want to make these features a little bigger and maybe rotate them. So I can go to Edit, Transform, Scale, or I can hit Command or Control T, always holding down the Shift key. Again, Command T. Command T. Command T. Okay. Now, I want to make sure my layers palette is open because this is really important for the next step. We want to smooth these edges away, so we're going to use something called a layer mask. So, each one of these layers you can turn on and off by clicking on the little eyeball here. I'm going to start with layer 1, and I'm going to check and see what that is. Okay, it's my right eye. And I'm going to add a layer mask instead of using the eraser tool. The eraser tool will just get rid of what's around the edge, but if I want to do a precise blending of the eyeball into the pear, I want to make sure that if I make a mistake, I can bring some information back. So here are the steps to do a layer mask. I'm going to click on what looks kind of like a dollar bill or a Japanese flag down here in the bottom of the layers palette. It's the square with the circle in it. You'll see I've got my layer with the checkerboards here and the mask. You can also see there's this little frame around the mask that's really important, and I'll tell you why in a second. Step 2, click on the brush. Make sure it's a soft-edged brush. Remember, it looks kind of like a fuzzy globe. I can change the size of the brush using the size meter up here or use the bracket key on the keyboard. And step 3 is I want to make sure that the black square is on top here in the foreground color. So what I'm going to do, this button right here will make sure it's black and white if it's 2 other colors. And then I'm going to hit on this curved arrow here to switch the foreground and background colors. So now black is on top. And I can go in, oh, my opacity is too low. Make sure that your opacity is on 100% and your mode is on normal. And I can start to erase and blend my features in. Maybe I don't really want my eyebrow here. Now, if I make a mistake, I can flip it so the white brush is on top, and I can bring information back. This you cannot do with the eraser tool. The other thing I need you to pay attention to is if you have clicked on the layer, see how the frame is around here? You're just going to be drawing black or white over your image and you're going to get really upset about it. So make sure you are clicked around that white mask. Now I want to go ahead and do I want to do my nose. So I have to add another layer mask, checking my brush, black is on top. Now I can go in and paint around. And I'm going to keep doing that. Layer mask. Oh, that's my mouth. Black is on top. White will bring back any mistakes I've made. I can go back. You cannot do that with the eraser unless you go edit undo, and sometimes you can only go so far. This allows us to maintain editability, which is a very funny word. So if I wanted to go ahead and try and find my other eyebrow, I could switch this to be white. There we go. Now you can leave these features skin colored, or if you would like to change them to match the tone of whatever fruit or vegetable you've chosen, what I would do is I'm clicked on the move tool, auto select is on, so I'm going to click on my nose. I'm clicked on the layer, not the mask, I'm clicked on the layer. And instead of going down to the black and white cookie here for hue and saturation, because that'll do over the whole entire thing, I want to do just my nose. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, Control U if you are someone who likes keyboard commands. And now I can kind of scroll through here and find the tone that I want. So again, Command U. Once I find the color I want, okay, it says plus 44, I can kind of just go in here, Control U, and type in plus 44, and then all the colors will match up. So that's how you do it.